We're right here in the grape vineyards, just checking out the fruits. As you can see, they're still very small berries, and they're still not ready to eat. They still need a while. Need some water. Here's some more berries. Just checking them out. Looks like there's gonna be lots of good harvest this year. So in this video I'll be doing Newton's law of cooling, and I will show you guys how it works whenever you guys freeze fruits and how long does it take for them to thaw out. This is how grapes look when they're fully ripe and ready to harvest. This is how many people enjoy their frozen grapes. Now join me on my adventure as I teach you guys how to use Newton's law of cooling and determine how long how long it will take the grapes to freeze inside my freezer, and so we can enjoy frozen grapes on a very hot day. So we will be using Newton's law of cooling to determine how long will it take for our grapes to cool down and freeze inside the freezer. So we will be using the formula for Newton's law of cooling, which is the T parentheses T equals A plus TO minus A, and then end the parentheses, and then the E minus KT. So we'll be using this formula. So first off, we need to find out what's the temperature of the freezer. So the freezer's temperature is 30 degrees. And so what we do is we just have to plug in for the 30 degrees. And we also have to find out what degrees are the grapes that we are putting in there. And so the grapes are going to be just normal room temperature, which is 80 degrees. So we plug it in there, and now we have to find for our constant and the time. So what we know is that the problem is that we need to determine at what temperature will the grapes be frozen. So what we know is that the grapes that we picked and put inside the freezer in 5 minutes inside the 30-degree freezer temperature went down to 70 degrees. So this is a drastic change in the temperature. It went from 80 degrees to 70. So now what we do is we just solve this, so it's gonna be 50. So it's gonna be 30. And all we have to do is now that I'm back, now we can find out our constant and our time. Well, we have to, since we have this, that in 5 minutes it turned into 70 degrees, then what we can do is for the time is put -5 EK, and it turned to 70 degrees. So we can start now by subtracting the 30, well, crossing out the 30 from both sides. You get 40 equals 50 E -5 K. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do the same thing, and as we learned in class, whenever we're doing Newton's law of cooling, we know that we need to divide this out. So divided by 50 divided by 50. So now you just get 40 over 50 equals E -5k. And to solve this, we need to use natural logs. So natural log and natural log. And using this natural log, we get rid of this, and now we end up with this. Get this -5, and pretty much divide it by -5, and this is what k equals. So now that we figured out what this equals, pretty much the answer is k equals 0.4158. So that is our constant. Okay, we did find our constant, but we made a little error. I forgot where the decimal was at, but it's k dot 0.4158, and that's our constant. So now we can plug it in. So once we plug it in, we do the same thing. So it equals, now we can find that 30 degrees, which is the temperature of the refrigerator, plus 80 minus 30, the E, and minus, now we can plug in our constant. It's 0.041558, and now we can put in the temperature, and now we can see at what temperatures our berries will be frozen at. So for what I put in here, just to see if our math has been right, I put in the 5 minutes. So once you put in the 5 minutes, the temperature drops down within 5 minutes to 70.63 degrees Fahrenheit. So now that we know that we are right, now we can move on and find out at what temperature will our grapes be at frozen temperatures, which for grapes, the freezing temperature for grapes is 32 degrees. So we need to get there. So now that we figured out everything else, now let's just figure out at what temperature will our grapes freeze. Well, if we keep plugging in this formula and just add difference, so let's say we put 30 minutes, what we get out of 30 minutes is that it's at 44 degrees. And once we plug in 60 minutes, we get at 34 degrees. So what I did was I plugged in 65, since we're really close, and in 65 minutes the degrees that we get to is 33. So I believe that's really close, and that's pretty much freezing temperature already. So that's how many minutes it takes to freeze your berries for. I'm Abraham Felix, and this is my legacy project, and I just showed you guys how long will it take for if you put berries inside a refrigerator that's at 30 degrees and your berries at 80 degrees. How long would it take for them to get to freezing temperature using Newton's law of cooling? And now we can go and enjoy delicious frozen grapes. Thank you, that's all. Yummy, now we can go and eat them. Thanks everybody. Add me on Instagram at ABChapo.